Hello everyone, I'm Lavanya and I'm the host for this session. Today we'll be discussing about GitHub Campus Experts program for which we have Harshita Jain and Priya Pawar, which are both GitHub Campus Pro GitHub Campus experts. As a Microsoft Learn student ambassador, Harshita validates her love for community by gaming them to obtain the best results. She is a metaverse fanatic and lives experimenting with AR, VR, MR, or XR technologies to create immersive experience. And being a UI and UX designer and game developer, she is passionate about human-centric design and diversity in gaming. Priya is a firm believer in knowledge and experience being the commodities to share. She has been a part of the core technical community for her institute since her freshman year. Having a keen interest in web development, she is enjoy coding Python and Go programming language. As well, she works for Django and Web and REST frameworks. From her standpoint, a diverse community welcomes a variety of perspectives. Those perspectives spark collaboration. Collaboration fuels change, and embracing change fires to innovation.
Thank you, Lavanya, for the great introduction. So, hello everybody. It is indeed a positive delight to see the zest and zeal of the attendees for the GitHub Campus Experts program. Thank you for joining us today. So, without any further ado, we'll start the program. We'll just let the presentation to be on stage. So, till the time the presentation is on, we'll discuss about what is going to be the agenda of today's session. We'll begin with what exactly is the GitHub Campus Expert program, who are GitHub Campus Experts, what they do, and what are the requirements to be eligible to become one. Then we'll cover the essential details of the program's timeline, the complete application process, the training involved, and the lesson known perks of being a GitHub Campus Expert. Followed by, we'll have some quick tips that one should keep in mind while applying to the program. And towards the end of the session, we'll be open for your queries or questions about the program. First and foremost, let me clear one thing that the name of the program might be daunting, especially for beginners in technology or students who to be experienced or, as they say, pro in being a GitHub user or working with Git commands. Of course, having of Git and GitHub is good for the long run, but the main focus of this program is to look for student leaders who are interested in building student technical communities at their campuses and who strive to make a significant impact on such community of like-minded peers.
So, what the program does is it finds a common ground between communities and technology, and then it harnesses their power to build diverse and inclusive spaces where people can learn and grow together. Like, if this sounds too jargonish, and if you're wondering what you actually do after becoming a GitHub Campus expert, the best part about the program is that there is no upper limit to the number of things you can do once you become one, right? You can take any number of initiatives. And if I have to name a few initiatives, it would be organizing hackathons, leading workshops, mentoring peers, conducting conferences and meetups, maintaining open source projects in your community. And when I say community, this community could be a formal, well established club in the society, a club in your college, or it could be an informal discussion group where you and your friends discuss tech together. And although the name is GitHub Campus Expert, as Priya just stated before, I would like to reiterate over this point that technical knowledge is good, but it's not a prerequisite for the program. Like I remember when I applied for the program around 1 year back, I had only 75 contributions on GitHub and no pull requests. So what they're looking for is a very good community spirit.
Moving on, if we discuss about who can apply to this program, the most important requisite is to have the access to the GitHub Student Developer Pack. Any student with the same can apply to the program. Now, if we discuss about what is the GitHub Student Developer Pack, it is a set of more than hundreds of premium tools that can prove to be highly useful for any student developer. We all know that most of the professional grade softwares are costly and we students cannot afford them. And that's why the GitHub Student Developer Pack has been created, where one gets access to the GitHub Actions for free, be it the virtual event kit comprising of StreamYard, Namecheap, Name.com, Microsoft Azure, or let's say you have to empower your student hacker community with a bundle of GitHub Pages, GitLens, Mailgun, Visual Studio Code, Typeform, or when you have to get hands-on experience with the developer or design tools such as Replit, Relic, Bootstrap Studio, etc. This list goes on and on. I can say so many names with the developer tools it offers. So if you haven't applied for the GitHub Student Developer Pack yet, we strongly, strongly recommend availing these amazing benefits for free while you're a student.
And I'd suggest you apply timely with your college ID for the pack. It's generally recommended going with your college ID. If you already have your GitHub account made with your personal ID, that is totally fine. What you can just do is you can add your college ID as a secondary ID while claiming the pack. And it usually takes less than 2 weeks for the GitHub team to review your profile and provide access to the pack. Apart from that, the other eligibility requirements are listed right on your screen. You should be at least 18 years of age. You should be possessing the GitHub Student Developer Pack, as already stated. You should be enrolled in a post secondary formal education institution, have more than 1 year left as a student before graduating, be a GitHub user for at least 6 months, and not be a part of the GitHub Campus Advisors program.
Talking about when the portal for the applications open. Well, the applications for the program open twice a year in the month of February and August and remain open for around a month. There is no upper limit to the number of times you can apply. For example, if you don't get in during the August cohort, then you can always apply to the February cycle. And if you don't get in the February cycle, you can reapply in the August cohort. But make sure that you can apply only once every application cycle. And currently, the applications for the August 2022 batch are open. So please, please make sure that you apply strictly before the deadline, that is September 4, 2022 at 23 Pacific time.
So now heading on to a very important part, which is the application process. So there's a list of questions that is asked in the application process. And these questions, as you can see, they ask about you, your community, the reason why you want to become a GitHub Campus expert, and how you expect Campus Experts program to support you in your community building journey. So the general tips which we often give applicants while applying for the program is to stay very specific with their application. And when I say specific, I mean that if you're mentioning qualities like hard work or dedication, don't just state them, validate them through your examples, validate them through the projects that you made or the hackathons that you won. Never undersell yourself in the application, but at the same time, be honest and especially be candid with the reasons why you want to become a GitHub Campus expert. You can especially resort to mentioning the problems you have earlier faced as a community leader and how, if you've had the title of a GitHub Campus expert at that point, the entire process would have become easier for you. So that's it.
Now, if your initial applications get shortlisted, then congratulations. You'll be invited to submit a video resume. The nature of the video resume and initial application is somewhat similar, but what they judge on the basis in video resume is your public speaking skills, your passion for technology, where some of the essential points that you should keep in mind during that could be talk about your passion for leading student technical communities, talk about the hackathons or workshops or tech talks you have organized to support your community. You can talk about your perception of the program. There is a lot of information and generic content in the internet that why should you be a GitHub Campus expert or why you should be a student leader. But the reviewers don't want to hear that blog post. They want to hear your part of the story. They want to hear your perception on the program, how you can carry forward the common goals of your local community, along with how can you help it achieve greater heights in your career. Briefly describe what you do, what are your shared interests and struggles. Let's say if you belong to a marginalized group in a community, then what kind of underrepresentation is there in that ecosystem? What steps have you taken, and how many people have been benefited with that initiative? The most important point is to mention the figures and the statistics. Even if it's one or hundreds, just mention that. Think about diversity and inclusion on a broader aspect. Think about how you can lead your community. Think about highly community driven approach, and your mention the leadership initiatives in high school that you have taken if you're not currently a part of any technical community in your college. So that would be great while submitting your application.
So, if you make it through the video round, this is then followed by the GitHub Campus Experts training. I believe this is the most amazing part of the program. I don't think there is any other program, student ambassador program, which provides the selected participants with resources to train themselves. So this is a really amazing thing about the program. This training is usually self-paced in nature. And when I say training, obviously nobody comes and tutors the participants. They're provided with resources, which are known as modules. And these modules are really dynamic. They are diverse. They range right from training on Git and GitHub to, say, public speaking or organizing a workshop. So it's holistic in nature. It covers all the aspects of being a GCE or a GitHub Campus expert in the truest form.
Now, if you're wondering why you should become a GitHub Campus expert or what does the program has in it for you, well, as Harshita mentioned, the holistic development during the GitHub Campus Experts training, and after that will make a significant impact on your trajectory to build a strong technical community. You learn to lead, you learn to grow, you learn to organize, and most importantly, you learn to connect with the right set of people having shared interests. Let's say you want to lead a successful workshop in your local community. You learn the best practices with training from GitHub. Or you want to deliver a TED talk or organize a hackathon. You can receive exclusive swag and support from GitHub. And another thing that is the best part of being the GitHub Campus Expert program is the joy of being in an environment of inspiration, in an environment of interaction and collaboration with the passionate student community leaders. And this is not just restricted within your local campus, but on a global scale as well. You'll meet people, you'll meet the GitHub Campus experts who have been there in that position for a really long time. You'll talk to them about their mistakes, what went wrong in their local community, what challenges they faced during their tenure, and how you can overcome those challenges within your local community. That is the most significant and the most essential part of this program.
Also, there are certain perks about which you come to know once you delve really deep into the ecosystem. Like, even I didn't know about them 1 year back while applying. And to name a few, one of them is GitHub Field Experts. So, who are GitHub Field Experts? They are senior campus experts who organize the GitHub Field Day. So, if you've had a sufficient amount of tenure as a GitHub campus expert and it's your final year of college and you're graduating, you can apply to become a GitHub Field Expert. And GitHub Field Experts, as I already said, they organize the GitHub Field Day, which is a regional unconference for student community leaders. Now, what do I mean when I say unconference? While in a conference, there is always a fixed agenda, there's always a certain specified list of topics that need to be discussed. In an unconference, the participants or the attendees, they decide the topic that needs to be discussed. So that is one thing about the GitHub Field Experts program. And I recommend everybody to apply for GitHub Field Day as well. Like right now, it was conducted back in July. And next year also, it would be most probably back in July and it would be held in Delhi or Bangalore. Next, we have the GitHub Campus TV. Now, this is just as interesting as it sounds. So, there are some GitHub Campus experts who host their own TV shows on the Twitch channel of GitHub Education Team. So, they run these shows on CSS or maybe React or maybe any tech stack that they know, or not even tech stacks. They even share career opportunities over there. I know somebody who runs a campus TV show on DevRel. And if you're wondering what DevRel is developer relations. And that is also one of the perks of being a part of the program because I know people who started their community journeys as maybe GitHub campus experts or maybe MLSAs, and later they got into the DevRel space. And what DevRel is, it is a culmination of code, content, and community. So, as a developer relations engineer, you would not only be writing code or uh, creating products for your company, but you would also be encouraging the community around you to use a particular tech stack or to use a particular um, let's say, to learn a particular technology through the content that you create. Lastly, it's the invaluable network, as Priya has already iterated. I cannot just stop listing the number of amazing people I've met through this program. So it's really worth applying for it.
Now, if we discuss about some quick tips that you should keep in mind while applying to the program, is keep your application answers concise, keep it honest, keep it short. A good number of figure is within 1600 characters. Please don't lie on your applications. The reviewers of the program are highly experienced. They will know whether it is genuine or not. And one thing more, if you do not have a community in your college right now, if you're currently in the first years or let's say a beginner in technology, then you can always build a new community from scratch. It is not like you should, it is appreciated that you're a part of a community in your college, but if you're not, then that's also completely fine. You can build one according to your visions, according to your goals. What else?
Also,
You
there's
keep in
this
mind?
additional. There are these additional tips which you can follow. So later phases of the application, you'll be asked if there are any problems that are in your mind related to your community. So while listing those problems, make sure you also have the solutions to those problems in your mind, right? And be a problem solver, not just a critique. Be aware of the problems, mention them, but alongside show a willingness to solve them. And also, it's a good practice to get your application reviewed by any GitHub campus expert. So I urge you to do the same as well.
So that's it from our side. Enrich your college community experiences. We are open to questions if we have any.
So, Priya and Harshita, I have some questions which can be common to other attendees also. So, the first question: how many GitHub campus ambassadors can be there for a single campus?
Well, it depends upon the strength of the campus, the number of student the campus has, how what is the size of the campus, and mostly it is one, but there can be many according to the strength of the campus and the students in it.
For how long does a student remain the GitHub campus expert after completing the training?
All right. So after completing your training, for as long as you're in your college, you can be a GitHub campus expert. Just because the applications roll out every 6 months, that doesn't mean that your tenure ends after 6 months, right? For as long as you're in your college, you can be a GitHub campus expert.
So, these were the questions I had.
All right. So I guess then we are done if you don't have
Yep.
any questions.
Yeah.
We can wait for a while and see if there are any questions, and if not, then we can log out. All right. So it's being asked, what
So,
can be
what?
considered as community? Like if you're friends and help each other, is it considered a community? Yes, definitely. If you're friends and if you help each other out, either through a WhatsApp group or maybe through a Discord server, or maybe you're doing that on some informal offline basis for now, you can always convert that to a formal community while you apply to the program.
So, another question is there any stipend?
Well, the program does not offer any stipend to the individual, but yes, it offers you sponsorships while you organize a hackathon. That is what the nature of the program is all about. The support your events are the local community. They don't hire you, you're not an employee. They just give you their support, their sponsorship, their swags for your events at your local community.
So these were the questions we had.
All right.
So we are at the end of the session. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining. Oh, there is another
Okay.
question.
Thank you. Okay.
Any internship or FTE opportunity in the end?
Uh, but there is no internship or FTE opportunity as a GitHub campus expert, but there is GitHub extern, which is, I think, maybe after the end of the third year, right, Harshita?
Yes, it's end of the third year, and it's totally unrelated to this program. But yes, it is just another program that belongs to the GitHub ecosystem. And you're asking if there is any internship or FTE opportunity. So the kind of network you create being a GitHub campus expert, you meet people who are already MLH fellows, since GitHub and MLH are related, and GitHub is also a subsidiary of Microsoft. You meet people who are working in Microsoft, and you meet people from different companies, maybe say Replit, TensorFlow, who are already working with GitHub, and the kind of insights they offer into the hiring process, or the kind of help they can offer, because everybody out there is a community builder and they want to help you to the best of their abilities. So while there is no direct internship or FTE opportunity, but people out there are always really ready to help you or provide referrals.
Okay. So thank you so much, both of you, for joining.
Thank you. All the best with your applications. Put your best foot forward and do apply. Do apply for the same if you're interested. If you're genuinely interested in building communities, if you're genuinely interested in leading one, do apply for the program. Don't just go in the position of imposter syndrome that okay, I cannot apply. I'm not good enough for that. Everybody is good enough. Find the leader in you. That's what we'll suggest.
Thank you so much.
Also, just one last thing, and even if you do not make it to the program, just keep doing that share of community work for the sake of it, or maybe for the love of it and for the joy of it, and not and do not go for any title, right? Like you can be a GitHub campus expert without even having that title. You can hold events, you can organize events, you can attend conferences, you can organize conferences without even being a GitHub campus expert, right? So like, I hope everybody makes it to the program, but since it's not viable, even if you don't, never stop that community building process.
Yeah, we have another question. If my department has more than 500 students, does it qualify for more than one GC?
All right, so there is no set criteria that GitHub has put forward, which points out to these many students can only, like, these many students will point out to one GitHub campus expert, or like, there's no set number, but you should apply nevertheless. You never know, right? You should apply nevertheless.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you, for
Thank
joining.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, the attendees, to join, and I urge you to subscribe the Coders Cafe channel.